Hello everyone and welcome to episode 12 of the local to global save here on TEW9. We have quite a big show, quite a big episode today really actually. 4 shows, which will take a little bit of time, but we're going to finish the year 1999 in today's episode and just get ready to start 2000. Now, I've mentioned this a few times before, I am recording this on the 28th of August. This will not go up until the 11th of September, I believe this will be going up. So it is a few weeks in advance, so apologies again if you have mentioned anything and I've not looked it up. I'm just getting far ahead for my schedule because I'm very busy. So thank you for your understanding. But good show hopefully in the books today. We've got $308 of profit last month. We're already at $378. About 450, 500 more of sponsors and a few hundred more of merchandise as well. So if we can keep them numbers relatively low on tonight's show, that would be perfect. The industry and economy are still rising, but they're still very weak, so we're just going to have to make do with it for now. I'll be back in just a second and we shall get on with the first episode of Live in Edinburgh. I'm beginning to think that we're cursed, because for the second show in a row, half of our equipment is not here. So we're going to get dinged again on the overall show rating, which is very frustrating. But we're in front of 157 people, so we're still on very cheap tickets, because we're just trying to get the popularity up at this point, and hopefully the money will follow. But we've been with Juventud Guerrera. He comes out and reiterates again that it was a mistake what happened 2 months ago with Doug. But it seems Doug just doesn't want to hear that. So tonight, he's recruited a hot and upcoming talent in Darren Burridge to take on Doug and Rampage in our main event. Crowd is hot, 59 for Hoovy. And then we keep getting the crowd hotter as the Dominator and the Gravedigger come out before their match and say it seems their challenge has fallen on deaf ears for Doug and Rampage. So how about they have the match next month? For now, it's time to hit some poses, strike some fires, and beat up their opponents tonight. And we're going to change his gimmick. It's got an adequate rating. So it's better than awful, which it was before. And they do defend their tag team titles against Gary Steele and LT Summers. Again, we're just throwing combinations into the wind and seeing if anything sticks. And nothing is sticking. The Gravedigger, by the way, actually outperformed the Dominator by 1 point here. So, good stuff. 39 overall, we'll take it, it's fine. And then, Carl Kramer. So, the last time we used him, which was months ago, he really impressed me because he had a good performance with John Ryan. He put John Ryan over huge. Sadly, we've not got that note this time, and for $110, I want that note every single time. So this is the farewell appearance of Carl Kramer, because he is done. His contract's up after this, and Chris Diamond does defeat him following interference from Justin Starr, which allows him to hit the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. So Chris Diamond picking up a big win over an outgoing Carl Kramer. And in our main event, it gets a 47, which is very solid. And about that had good heat and decent wrestling. Doug Williams and Rampage Brown defeat Juventud Guerrera and Darren Burridge when Doug Williams pins Juventud Guerrera with the Chaos Fury following interference from a debuting Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness gets a great rating for his nun gimmick, but very good match overall. Everybody pulling in above a 30, which is nice. Rampage was off his game, which is unfortunate. And yeah, there's big Nigel McGuinness. Brings home the win for Doug, and Rampage gets a 47. The show gets a 44, which is actually decent considering the pre-show equipment problems. I was expecting this to be in the 30s, so a 44, we will gladly take that. Now, I think the Gravedigger deserves some props, and also, let's show Chris Diamond some love. We lost $326 on that show, so that's definitely going to be a profit this month. And of course, the show hasn't gone up in popularity, for God's sake. Is it because the wrestling industry is weak, very weak? Is that why we're struggling to gain popularity? Because we're on very cheap tickets. We're doubling the score of what we are pretty much popularity-wise with every show. I'm at a loss for words at this point. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like we're being shafted here by the game. Maybe there's a perfectly valid reason. Maybe it is something as simple as the industry being very weak that's causing that. But like, we're getting good attendances, like 150 odd people are coming. But apparently that's not good enough for the game. So, oh well. Apologies if you can hear the fan in the background, by the way. It is boiling in this house today while I'm recording this. So, it's much needed. But, good show considering the problems. We've hopefully made a decent profit for the month of October as well. Nigel McGuinness has now debuted. I already have the November show pretty much booked, which is good, so that means I can just skip ahead and book the November show. And I've got a big main event for next month, something that I'm really looking forward to when it gets booked. But yeah, we're down to 119 and we should get another 400 and sponsors, so should be another 300 odd healthy profit. I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there slowly, but indeed surely. I am going to skip ahead quick. So Steve Wilde, I need in 2 days time I need to just renew his contract. I'm going to skip ahead 2 days because I can't renew it until he leaves because he's on a freelancer. So we'll bring Steve Wilde back so the Smashing Diamonds can stay together, and then I think we're happy to just skip ahead to the next show. So I will see you guys in just a second. Contrary to what you may see on the screen right now, we are not at Station Hotel Aberdeen. I fat fingered it and right clicked, not realising that it said it was in Aberdeen, not a generic venue. So that's my bad. We're in Edinburgh, screw what the game says. But we kick off the show with Juventud Guerrera coming to the ring, and he says he's not the only one who has an issue with Doug and company. He says he has two very tall, very big, very scary partners tonight in 6-man action, and warns Doug that this is only the beginning. The Dominator and the Gravedigger then come out to back Juve up and say they think the way Doug has acted recently is a disgrace to the fans of Castle Pro, and that they're looking forward to putting them in their place. Doug, Rampage and Nigel, who I need to actually go sort something out, but they are now known as The Firm, come out, and Doug says this is what he's been talking about. Disrespectful Punk as champion, these two laughing stock idiot cosplaying as wrestlers as the tag champs, and they'll get put in their place tonight. And I'm just going to pop back to the booking screen and sort out some graphics. So 2 seconds, 45 overall though. I really wish when you did like the going back thing that you don't go to the next segment, but that's what the game works, unfortunately. So up next we have another slight sort of gimmick change here. Chris Diamond has some bad news for the Castle Pro faithful, and that is that Steve Wilde has been fired from the Smashing Diamonds. So Steve Wilde actually didn't want to re-sign a contract with us. So adios, Steve. He was unreliable, he was annoying to talk to, and to be completely honest, he just wasn't a very good musician. He's some good news though. We've beefed up security here for the Smashing Diamonds, and he brings out their new enforcer, Roughneck. He says the Christmas single is coming along nicely, and you can't wait to hear it next month. We've changed him to a roadie gimmick. It's got adequate, so hopefully it will get better as time goes on at 29. And yeah, Roughneck is the muscle for the Smashing Diamonds, because there's nothing else for Roughneck to do. And he does help them get the win, as the Smashing Diamonds won, because I have the other team set as Smashing Diamonds. Defeat Kelt Kennedy and Ian Harrison when Diamond wins with the Melancholy and Infinite Sadness following interference from Roughneck. 32, Kennedy and in particular Harrison are very obviously new. Harrison's very poor, but hopefully he might get some better a little bit. But nobody in this match really is very good, to be completely honest. But we love Chris Diamond and his sad Billy Corgan-ness, all considered. Up next, The semi-main is John Ryan picks up a win over Johnny Storm. They last faced each other at Christmas in the Gardens, or on the Gardens, I can't remember what it's called, that show, but they last faced each other there, so nice and easy. Easy win for John Ryan as well, just keeps his momentum hot. And in the main event, it gets a 50, which I'm happy with. Juventud Guerrera and the Dominator and the Gravedigger do defeat the firm of Doug Williams, Rampage Brown and Nigel McGuinness when the Dominator pinned Rampage Brown with the pile driver. Really good match. 50 overall, 157 people here. Doug with a 60, the Dominator with a 51. I mean, Nigel's got the wash rating at a 28 and he's new, but our 4 established stars, nothing lower than a 45, is sensational. We get a 44 overall. Nigel and Rampage were slightly overused, but I don't care. So, deal with it, game. Some praise. I guess we have to give praise to... You know what? I'm gonna give encouragement to Ian Harrison, and I'm gonna praise Wayne Pickford because he's angry. So, we lost 508 on the show, but we did go up to 24 popularity. So, thank God for that. We are inching closer and closer to small size. We need 11 more, but hopefully that'll happen at some point in the year 2000. It'd be pretty annoying if it didn't. I just skipped to this next stage because I was just messaging someone. So good show overall. I mean, 44 is not our greatest result, but it's like... These two shows obviously had some issues, but with 157 people 2 shows in a row, we're down 131. We should... Oh, yes! Look at that sponsorship, people! It's weak! It's weak! It's no longer very weak! We're going to make money! We're going to make money! We're going to make about, I don't know, 500 maybe this month, maybe 400. So fingers crossed, we're actually going to make some money for once on this save. The next live in Edinburgh is the 17th of December, and then we have Christmas in the Gardens on the 27th. I think I've been calling it Christmas on the Gardens. It's Christmas in the Gardens. Luckily, everyone is available. I might actually move it back to Boxing Day again, because I thought that worked quite well, so we're just going to move it to Boxing Day on the Sunday, because it looks like everybody's going to be available. We can evaluate that near the time. We've got one more live in Edinburgh though. I need a main event for our big Christmas show, to be honest. I have nothing pre-booked at all, as you can see. And I'm not doing Doug versus Hoovy, but I don't know what to do, to be honest. Hoovy needs... I mean, we could just do Hoovy John Ryan. And that might be the way we have to go. Hoovy versus John Ryan. How many times has he faced Hoovy singles-wise? I might regret doing this. So bear with me and bear with the game. Because this might take a while. Alright, we're at JU, so just needs to get the V that I typed in. Come on, game. You can do it. Don't do anything else. Click it. Come on. Come on, game. Come on. You can do it. Right, okay, we've selected Juventud. So, there we go. So Hoovy beat him back in June. So it's been 6 months since we've done this match. And if we look at it every year... Oh, this is painful. This is absolutely painful. There we go. They faced each other twice. June 1998 and June 1999. So, you know, we like to have this match in June. I think we'll do Hoovy versus John Ryan. I've already sorted out contract renewals for Diamond and Ryan. I think we'll extend Johnny Storm by another 9 months. He's useful to have around. But I'm going to skip ahead to live in Edinburgh just before Christmas, and I'm back in just a second. So it's actually been 4 days since I last recorded a part of this show. So I don't remember fully what I've booked. I just set it all up, saved it, and then didn't look at the game for another 3 days. So yeah, here we go. It's time for Castle Pro live in Edinburgh. We're in front of 170 people in Edinburgh. Good attendance, by the way, and this is a great start to the show. John Ryan comes out and he says he doesn't care about this feud between Doug and Hoovie. He's not bothered. Doug isn't getting in on a title shot, so he tells Hoovie that next week at Christmas in the Gardens, Doug won't have to worry about not getting a chance to face Hoovie for the belt because John Ryan is coming to take the gold. Tonight, he's got some loser trying to get a job called Duncan Disorderly, and once he's disposed of, Hoovie is next. A very solid opening promo from John Ryan. He gets a 55. The match isn't next, because the next match is The Firm taking on PJ Black and Darren Burridge, and they get the win when Nigel McGuinness pins PJ Black with the Jawbreaker Lariat. They're getting better. Rampage was off his game, which is unfortunate, but this is all about building The Firm up. These guys are going to be big players all 4 of these guys I think are going to be really big players for us going forward, but these two, especially Nigel, I think will be a big deal going forward. He gets the second best rating in the match as well. Gets a 33, which is fine. Can't complain too much about that. And afterwards, because Nigel McGuinness is actually really good on the microphone, we've got a 42 here. Doug Williams comes down and he celebrates the Firm's win tonight, and he makes an official reply to the Dominator and the Gravedigger. It won't be him in the match, but his boys, Nigel and Rampage, will take care of business and win the tag titles at Christmas in the Gardens. So it will be Nigel and Rampage taking on the Dominator and the Gravedigger for the tag belts next week. And then we go to our next match. The PC is just running a little bit slow as we click continue, so just bear with the game here. And it's finally loaded, and John Ryan obviously does defeat Duncan Disorderly, who gets a 36. It's a really good rating from Duncan Disorderly. It's a 41 overall. His gimmick was awful, but it's fine. He's here to be a job guy for the time being. But John Ryan picks up a really impressive win to head into next month. More on that shortly. We then get a cracking match, a 60 rated match, as Doug Williams defeats the Gravedigger with the Chaos Fury following interference from Nigel McGuinness. Doug gets a 62, Gravedigger with a very respectable 45. This is a great match. Nothing else to be said about it. It's a great match, and it leads into our closing show segment where Chaos reigns. Doug gets the cheap win, and the rest of the Firm are here to send a message as they take out the Gravedigger before the Dominator and also Hoovie run down to clear the ring. And the good guys stand tall in the ring as we head into Christmas in the Gardens next week. It gets a 47. Doug Williams looked good. The show gets a 55, which is sensational. That's a great rating. Ignore the note about using Nigel too much, because we are going to praise Nigel for a great performance. And I think we have to praise our old pal the Gravedigger here. Give him a hug, because he was awesome. Awesome. Also awesome is this. We only lost $98 on that show. That's fantastic. And we've gone up in popularity to 25, so that's just a successful show all around. Going into our third major show of the year. To only lose £98, dollars, whatever you want to call it. I just interchange them. I speak in pounds obviously normally, but dollars is what the game actually is. But to only lose 98, and we didn't have Hoovie in the match. We could have left Hoovie off the card. We brought the Gravedigger and the Dominator in. We could have left the Dominator off the card. It's we've brought in guys we didn't need to bring in who we pay a little extra for. And yeah, hopefully that's a sign that we're starting to turn the corner now. Because it's been stressful in recent weeks on this save as we end year 3. If we can start turning the corner financially now, it's going to be a godsend, because I really am worried about the notices coming through about final warnings. And it'd be a real shame if that did kill the save. Let me know, by the way, what you think, okay? If you're listening to this part. I know some of you guys skip around, which is fine, I do the same thing. If we do go bust, what should we do? Should we just start up another company? Like the Ashes of Castle Pro? Should we look to get a booking job elsewhere? You know, what should we look at doing? Because I don't know what to do if we do go down the toilet. But I mean, we're up 385 on the month. We're due another 600 in sponsors. So at 600, probably another 100 plus in merchandise as well. We're going to do whatever our ticket price is for this show. Very cheap. Is that what our ticket prices are? I'm going to make them cheap and see what happens on that. Because we've got 170 for that crowd. That's up from 157. And I think this is when we were running the tickets at I don't remember. It's been days since I've played this. But we have some contract expiries as well that we have to take care of here. We've got Darren Burridge, Ian Harrison and Loki in 30 days. Daniel's in 32. We're going to obviously let Daniel's leave because what is the point keeping him around? Justin Starbo obviously renew. The Gravedigger in 68 days. We might just get that renewed now, to be honest. How much will he want? 70 per show? That's fine. 2 years. Get him locked in. Get him locked in. We'll deal with the rest later. Get that done. You may have seen that Shark Boy is on this list here. Just ignore that for now. That's nothing to be worried about. So, up next is Christmas in the Gardens. I only have 4 segments booked for this show currently, to the point where I'm wondering if I should make it a shorter show. I mean, it's 2 hours. This is what we've got. Hoovy versus John Ryan. The Dominator and the Gravedigger taking on Nigel McGuinness and Rampage. And the Smashing Diamonds Christmas single will be revealed as well. So that's something to look forward to. That's very exciting. The titles haven't been defended in months. Hoovy won the belt and just proceeded to just not defend it for a long time. So Hoovy will defend it against John Ryan though. That'll be a good match. We've also moved the show 2 days forward. We've moved it to Christmas Eve. I don't think that impacts anything on the game if it falls on around the holiday season. I'm not sure. But the reason for that is just the availability. I'm hoping that means Low Key's available, because it was initially the 26th, so if he's still on tour, that means he's hopefully still based in Northern England. So we might be able to use Low Key and Shark Boy. But I'm going to skip ahead 6 days. I'm going to finish booking Christmas in the Gardens, and I'll see you guys in just a little second. 162 people are here on very cheap tickets. On cheap tickets, may I add. It's Christmas Eve, it's Christmas in the Gardens from Castle Pro Wrestling, and we have a big show. A lot of people on this show. We've given hardly anyone the night off. Which does mean I think we're spending $1,200 on worker costs. So we shall see how bad this goes financially, but I wanted to just put on a big end of the year show, get everyone involved. There are a few people who are not on the show. I'll quickly mention them. Low Key and Shark Boy typically had their tours finished with All Star Wrestling, so great, so that's fantastic. But anyway, opening the show, Johnny Storm and LT Summers defeats Kelt Kennedy and Duncan Disorderly. It's a throwaway tag, gets these guys on the show. I even let Conscience be the road agent. This was actually a deliberate thing. I didn't forget Conscience, I just let him do the road agent for it. It gets a 27. It's not the best start to the show, but it's the crowd's hot, so that's good. We then go into a match that was probably always going to be bad. I don't think I've ran this before, but Conscience defeats Ian Harrison. Ian Harrison stinks. I've given him a 9-month contract extension because I believe in projects, and Ian Harrison is now officially a project for me. We could team these guys up. They don't click as opponents, so maybe they click as partners, who knows. But I guess at 25, this stinks, but the show is going to get a hell of a lot better, probably in about 2 seconds. So, I have just talked for about 3 minutes and realised I had hit pause on the recording because I had a coughing fit and didn't properly click the button to record again. So I'm just going to quickly ignore this. I'm just going to recap what happened. So Christopher Daniels is in Castle Pro Wrestling now, everybody. He got an awful gimmick rating and he is rusty, and the angle idea I used was a failure. So that's all the bad news. The good news is Doug Williams had come out and he basically said he wasn't looking to fight tonight. He just wanted to look after the two matches involving the titles later on with the Firm and obviously Juve in the main event. Christopher Daniels then made his debut and said he'd moved to Scotland and he wanted to take on the best wrestler in the UK. Apologies, that's the abridged version. I can't go back or else I will lose this as well, which is really frustrating. So yeah, I'm annoyed about that. I'm very sorry. The match wasn't very good either. Daniels was rusty and only dropped to 22, and Doug defeated him in 15 minutes. I will talk more about Daniels after the show and explain what happened there. But yeah, my bad, apologies. I don't think I've missed anything else since my stupidity. Anyway, the Smashing Diamonds hit the ring, and I've said this part already as well. I have to repeat all this again. And it's time to hear their incredible new single that they hope will get to Christmas #1. Now, here's the problem with that whole thing. It's December 24th. The Christmas #1 will drop on Boxing Day because it's a Sunday. And the song had to come out earlier than that for it to be eligible anyway. So they've completely missed their window for the show to be eligible. Now, the Christmas #1 in the UK, for anyone who's American or not from the UK, the Christmas #1 used to be a really big deal. It was like the thing that you wanted because it was a big deal to have the Christmas #1. Usually it's a Christmas song. Sometimes it was like a novelty song. I had actually hoped that 1999, when I looked this up, was going to be Bob the Builder, Can We Fix It? Unfortunately, that was 2000. So for anyone wondering, the 1999 Christmas #1 in the UK was I Have a Dream / Seasons in the Sun by Westlife. So there you go, there's some exciting knowledge for everybody. A double single from Westlife was the Christmas #1. Anyway, surprisingly, it goes off without a hitch, except for the song being completely terrible and the fans in the front row turning their back on the performance. Diamond then thanks the fans before saying it's time to beat up some jabronis. Now, this originally involved Shark Boy, and I'm very, very mad that it doesn't involve Shark Boy, because this is crap, what I've booked. Now, I had Shark Boy coming out and then some silly comedy would happen and then they'd have a match of some capacity. Instead, I've had to throw together a completely random 6-man tag. But they had a live performance, went off without a hitch. It was just awful. So that's good. Gets a 34. The match gets a 37 as the Smashing Diamonds defeat Darren Burridge, Gary Steele and PJ Black when Diamond pins PJ Black with the Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Diamond, the best guy in the match, with a 38, so that's good. Darren Burridge off his game. 37, this has not been a great show so far. Up next is, here we go, we're back to some good stuff here. And no surprise, it's from the two main men as the Dominator and the Gravedigger defeat the Firm when the Gravedigger pins Nigel McGuinness with the Tombstone Piledriver to make defence #9 of the Castle Pro Tag titles. I debated giving the titles to the Firm, but when you look at the performances here, the Gravedigger dropped a 56. Even better than the Dominator with a 51. The Gravedigger with a 56. At what point do we make the Gravedigger the champion? Like the national champion, genuinely. Rampage with a 32, Nigel 35. Finish was a success. Good match, 55. It really brings the show up a good notch. A great title defence for the champs. We then have an angle that I now have realised I forgot to change the road agent of. So this one wasn't by design. But we see interviews with John Ryan and Juve. John Ryan talks about how Juve said it was his destiny to win the title, but now it's time for John Ryan to fulfil his own destiny and become the man around here. Juve says John Ryan will be a tough opponent, he always has been, but he has the fans by his side and belief in his abilities to get it done. Now I'm going to pause and actually remember to unpause this time to just make sure that Conscience isn't the road agent for the main event. Okay, so the good news is Conscience wasn't the road agent. The bad news is this kinda sucked. Hoovy does defeat John Ryan in just under 17 minutes, 54-50, after botched interference from Doug Williams, AWX defense number 5. John Ryan really up his game, drops a 36, and Hoovy drops a 45 for an overall 43 rated main event. This has not been a good show. I mean, my recording disaster aside, this has just not been a very good... I had hopes for this. A 43 is very poor, as the overall show gets a 41. And there's your ratings there. A 44 for Daniel's debut, and Doug beating Daniel's got a 48. The best match was the tag match. Not a good night. Not a good night at all. I mean, there's only one man we're given... There's only the two men we're given hugs here. It's the two main men. We lost 280, so that's not too bad considering how much we spent on workers. We've made that cost back, which is good. So we will be in profit. We've not gained a popularity point. I'm not surprised. Never mind the cheap tickets. The show kind of sucked. I'm not going to be mad that we didn't gain popularity after a show like that. And it really makes me think about the future for 2000. The plan is to skip ahead a week and go through the awards like I usually do. We'll end 1999 in this episode. Apologies if this episode's really long, by the way. But we'll end 1999. We'll go through our awards. We'll go through the industry awards. We'll have a quick check at the major champions and stuff like that. And talk about the future, because I haven't been as impressed by Hoovy's title reign as I thought I would be. And I'm quite sad to say that, because I felt like we crowned him at the right time, to be honest. From memory, the match obviously wasn't the best, but like, I think we crowned him at the right time to be champion. However, the performances just haven't really been there. Like, he's very popular. He's 37. He's behind Doug. And he's like, how do you like the Gravedigger? He's well at the top. The Gravedigger's just so low on the scale. It's quite sad. But if we look at the title defences, let's see what he's done. I mean, since Hoovy took over, 42. I mean, other than the 66 where he defeated Doug in a proper just singles match, he's not lighting the world on fire. Whereas Doug was dragging guys like Crazy Sexy Mike to a 47, LT Summers to a 40, Lexus to a 49. I mean, Doug got better as the time went on. I don't know if Hoovy's getting better. And that's sad to say. John Ryan's no slouch. In-ring, he's no slouch popularity-wise either. So what do we do with Hoovy? He's irritated. Why are you irritated? The unhappy morale officer. Okay. I mean, who is our morale officer? Is not the referee? Oh, I don't know. But, what to do? First of all, I'm going to extend Christopher Daniels' contract, because he's based here now. He wants 60 a show, but that's fine. Just give him 2 years. Justin Starr, while we're here. He's selfish, which I don't like. He does tend to cause a bit of issue backstage, which is a little bit annoying. Our morale's poor. Mainly because of the finances, I would say. We've got a few negative influences, but they're all mild. And who is our morale officer? Wayne. Right, okay, that's why. Right, crap. I forgot Wayne was the thing. Oh, no. I don't know how to fix this, Wayne. What did he want? I've got a creative idea. Screw it. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, right. Let's just walk away from the screen for a minute. We're currently making $197 on the month. we should make another few hundred, so we should make another 300-400 in profit. So we can run 2 shows in a month and make profit now, which is really good. Because obviously the economy is now weak and rising, and the wrestling industry is still very weak. So that's good. I've rattled on a lot here. I'm going to stop recording. And I mean, I need to sort out Wayne Pickford. I can't remove him as the morale officer because he'll be even angrier. But it would help fix the backstage. So I'm going to have a look at that. And I'll see you guys in a second for the wrap up of the year awards. The Millennium Bug did not happen. The year 2000 is upon us. And yeah, we still exist, so that's good. That's about the bare minimum really we're looking for here. We will go through our awards. So we've got some new companies opened up, and we'll just talk about the plans for the year 2000. I think I got cut off there when I said the year 2000. Just I was fixing my microphone. But anyway, the male wrestler of the year was KJ Muto. Female wrestler of the year was Lady Apache. Company of the year, All Japan Pro Wrestling, who have signed Ric Flair, by the way. He was in the main event in a losing effort. The All Japan roster is insane. Male Tag Team of the Year was Mitsuharu Misawa and Toshiaki Kawada. Female Tag Team of the Year, Lady Apache and Serenita. Match of the Year, El Dandy defeated Skida and FILL. Show of the Year was an All Japan show. Male Young Wrestler of the Year was Taio Kea, of all people. Female Young Wrestler was Tomoko Kazumi for the 3rd year. Male Veteran Wrestler of the Year was once again Jumbo Tsuruta. Female Veteran of the Year was Selene. Apologies for the alarm. Most Improved Company of the Year was CWF Mid-Atlantic. Male Independent Wrestler of the Year was Rey Mysterio. Female Independent Wrestler of the Year was Megumi Kudo. I'm sure she wasn't showing it last year as well. Male Manager of the Year was Magnum TA. Female Manager was Fantasia. Male play-by-play commentator was Jesus Zuniga. Female play-by-play was Bonnie Blackstone. I think she's won it every year of this save. Male colour commentator of the year was Paul Heyman. Female colour commentator was Missy Hyatt. Male referee Eddie Sharkey. Female referee Shigeyo Kawasaki. I think again. Rey Mysterio, where do you work? UWA exclusive. Okay. I was tempted, but he's not available. So one person I did want to check, by the way, just while I'm on this, is because it came up on the loading screen. Steve Blackman intrigues me. He intrigues me. Steve. Now, I'm going to ask Steve to work in the British Isles. He says yes. Okay. I'm going to offer him a 6-month contract. We're not going to use him until he moves over here, but I'm going to see if we can force Steve Blackman to move over to the UK. Because why not? Because he's cool as hell. Let's look through our awards first. Our male wrestler of the year, for to the surprise of absolutely nobody, was Doug Williams. Our male tag team of the year, to the surprise of nobody, was the Dominator and the Gravedigger. Male young wrestler of the year, John Ryan, has taken it this year. He did have a very poor final performance of the year, though, has to be said. Match of the year, Juve defeating Doug Williams at Lunatic Fringe in the rematch. Card of the year for the 2nd year in a row, Lunatic Fringe. Martin Warren, referee of the year, because it's the only referee that we have. So, Doug Williams, did he manage to make it on to the Power 500? Let's have a look. We can search by company, can't we? Yeah, I'm staring right at it, for God's sake. CPW, no. That's annoying. Come on, Doug. It's Doug Williams. It's the best wrestler in the UK. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, we made 465 last month, by the way. So, fingers crossed, this is the turning point. We have made profit. We've taken nearly 1,500 off of our debt in the last 4 months. The economy is obviously rising, the wrestling industry is rising. Fingers crossed that this sponsorship income can keep rising up. We've got 4 shows. When's Graps on the Grass Market? January? What? Why is that showing as January? Hang on. Oh, April it should be. Thank you. Okay. Let's hang on. You're watching a genius at work here trying to figure out how to play the game. There we go. Friday the 20th of April. Right, that's better. Don't know what the hell was going on there. So yeah, we've got live in Edinburgh. Oh, Ian Harrison's unavailable. Damn, what a shame. Another live in Edinburgh. Why is there not... Then one in March at some point, and then, yeah, so we'll have 4 live in Edinburghs. So I think next episode, whenever I actually get a chance to record that, by the way, I think we'll do 4 live in Edinburghs. And then the next episode after that will be Graps on the Grass Market, and we'll go from there. I think that's the plan. I forgot to show you, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, we have new tag titles. I just think they look quite nice, to be honest. So that's our tag titles for the cool guys. But yeah, 2000, interesting year. A very interesting year. We are currently size 25. I think by the end of the year, we need to be small size. That's the end game of the year 2000. We need to be at small size in Scotland. We're not going to run any shows in the Midlands, Northern England, Southern England, Ireland or Wales, anywhere else. We are just going to run shows in Scotland. And we want to get up to 35. We had a pretty rotten summer of growth, it has to be said. Like, we started the year up, then we stalled for a long time. We need to keep the tickets very cheap, because that's the best ground of making money and popularity rising. That's definitely the case. So we will, hopefully, by the end of the year, we will run 12 live in Edinburghs and at least 3 other events. So 15 events to gain 10 popularity points. Surely to God this can happen. Hopefully it can happen anyway. And once we get to small, I don't quite know what the broadcaster situation is. If we have a look, coverage in Scotland, STV, we need to be small size. Yeah, so by the end of the year 2000, the plan is to be on STV, which is the Scottish version of ITV for anyone outside of the UK. It's our version, Scottish television, pretty much that's what it's called. We will need to up our production values, of course, but we won't touch that until we get to small size. There's no point spending the extra amount when we don't need to. Like, I don't think there's any reason to do that. But yeah. Positives. The last show, bit of a dud, it has to be said. But if we look at the ratings, Lunatic Fringe was a very good show in 1999. Our worst show was a 33. Which, yeah, that show sucked. A 35, 35, 36. So we only had 4 shows under 40. And then we had 5 shows above 50. So we can put on good shows. The interesting thing is what to do with the title. Because Hoovie's he's just not lighting the world on fire at the moment. I mean, oh yeah, Daniel's popularity in Scotland is atrocious, but he's very good. So hopefully we can get him, stop being rusty, get him on the go. Rampage Brown, how's Rampage looking at the bright old age of 16? 24 popularity already. Nigel's up to 11. Nigel was very good. Very good. Duncan Disorderly, we've finally brought him in. He's based in Ireland. He's very good, just kind of across the board. we have a good roster. I don't think we have a great roster currently. We've got some real stars, obviously, the Dominator and the Gravedigger, who are doing incredible work as the tag team champions. I almost want to move them into the main event scene, but I don't want to break them up as tag champs, really. And then, of course, we've got the project of Chris Diamond. He's up to 22 popularity in Scotland now, so we're doing something right with Chris Diamond. I think we've talked to him about changing his body. Yeah, he has changed it to toned, which has brought his star quality to 54. What was it at? 51. So yeah, I mean, he's gaining some sex appeal and some star quality. He's gaining in the charisma and the microphone, the acting. He's getting better. Like, he is improving every few months, and that's kind of all you can ask for someone as not very good as he is. And then, of course, there's Ian Harrison, my new pet project. Like, he's not good, right? Let's be real here. But as a challenge, he has been picked up by All Star for a tour. So hopefully he can keep getting matches in. I mean, he's pretty rotten. He's had a couple good matches, but he's been in the ring with Danny Boy Collins for those. You know, he's alright. I kind of want to throw him in the ring with Doug Williams, which I might do at some point, because I think that could be a decent little match. Backstage morale is still poor, unfortunately, at the moment. A lot of that is the finances, I think, and the young locker room, plus Wayne Pickford's pissed off, and I made him angrier by trying to do a creative idea that failed. Whoops. Not my intention, Wayne, I'm sorry, but you'll get over it, hopefully. And yeah, we've got 3 tag teams, that's nice. I mean, we could take the belts off of the champs and give them to the Smashing Diamonds, but it'd be a huge knock to their popularity. Unless we did like a 3-way and the Smashing Diamonds or the firm took the titles off of them. But anyway, I think I've gone on enough. However, I have just realised we might have some new wrestlers we can sign. Tyson T-Bone. A 15-year-old Dean Allmark. Jesus wept. I mean, he's fantastic, because Dean Allmark is a great wrestler. The amount of hours I used to spend, this is getting very niche here, so I have long frequented the forums, and I used to love going on Death Valley Drivers forums, and the late, great, sadly no longer with us, Dean Rasmussen, the internet match thread. For anyone unfamiliar, it's still going. Sadly, of course, Dean is no longer there posting the wildest stuff you've ever seen in your life. But what he used to do is he would find bizarre stuff. Like he would find British camp stuff, like at Butlins, and there's Dean Allmark tearing it up constantly. You've got like matches from Peru. I got really into watching Dick Togo's South American tour at one point, of Chile and places like that. It was pretty wild. Oh, hello. Help. I have found a tag team, everybody. I've found a tag team. The Highlanders are in the game. Now, I think we have to do it. They're pretty good. Across the board, pretty solid. $20 a show. Easy tag team. Give them a year's contract. Boom. Get in the door. There we go. That was worth doing, wasn't it? We've signed the Highlanders. Don't worry, Robbie. We won't show you on TNA Impact and get you fired. I actually watched that episode of TNA fairly recently, and yeah, that was a nice reminder of worse times in wrestling. So there we go. Is that really everybody? I've got based in Scotland. I'm based near to Scotland. I think this video is hitting the 50 odd minute mark now. I do apologise if it's just dragging on at this point, but we just want to see if we've got anybody new. So we're just looking for the word rookie young lion that I don't recognise or having looked at before. So I'm just going to quickly skip through and look for that little description. Maybe it's just going to be the Highlanders. That was Robbie, that's Rory. And, yeah, and then this Tyson T. I'm intrigued by this Tyson T-Bone because he's already alright. He's got decent performance skills. He can do colour commentary. He's good fun. Screw it. He's $20 a show. Let's bring in Tyson T-Bone for a year. There we go. We've already refreshed the roster a little bit. We've signed 3 people. We've got the Highlanders coming in. And with that, we'll end the episode. It's the year 2000. We'll see you again in a few days' time. We'll run 4 live in Edinburghs. I have no idea when I'll record that. I'll probably have forgotten I've signed the Highlanders by that point. And I'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for bearing with this incredible long episode. And I'll see you in a few days. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.